Alex Fung, I wanted to ask you about your plans for Vontobel for China. Now, today you're present in Hong Kong. Is that enough for you, or would you consider an onshore presence in China?
No, not in the plan. Hong Kong is a good hub, has the infrastructure, has the platform, and the proximity to China. And so I think to service China from Hong Kong is very much our plan for the immediate future.
So you don't have any plans, immediate future, as you say, to go onshore in China. I was wondering just about the sort of crackdown in China on corruption and it becoming increasingly harder to get money offshore. How has that affected your daily business in Hong Kong?
The capital control crackdown, if you will, is nothing new, really. So we only interested in what we call industrial terms, clean money. And so we're fine with that. Our clients are fine with that, you know. So, but situations such as that will encourage Chinese client, if you will, Asian client actually in general, to diversify away from China and the region. So this is where our business model with the account domicile in Switzerland can help.
Okay. Now, Vontobel is maybe not a household name in China or even in wider Asia. You're, of course, quite a small boutique player. How can banks like yours make themselves more familiar names to these really lucrative Chinese clientele that all the private banks are going after?
We're making inroad, slowly but surely. We are different. We opt to be different. That's our differentiating factor. And also, the Asian clientele are educated now. The evolution, the knowledge has definitely gone higher and higher. So they know a good model, a good bank, and our offering when they see it. I think we are prime to service client with the needs at this moment.
What about the economics of the business? Of course, you've argued and you've pursued a boutique model for Vontobel in Hong Kong. As you say, no booking platform. It's booked here in Zurich, and you don't plan to go onshore in China, which of course is what's costing a lot of your rivals quite a lot of money, to be honest.
Sure.
With costs still, especially in Hong Kong, really quite unprecedentedly high, is that boutique model viable in the future?
It is, for us in Vontobel anyway. We opt not to have a infrastructure, a heavy IT infrastructure. The entire booking platform is in order to practice, you know, our business model. Our model is basically to centralize, to mutualize the entire infrastructure in Zurich and export that and to service Asian client out of this, you know, this centralization model. But of course, we have advisors in Hong Kong, so we combine the digital capability with, you know, quality advisors based in Hong Kong. Now, cost is of course one thing. So basically, this centralized model, if you will, without the heavy infrastructure in Hong Kong, basically answer to the cost issue that you just talked about.
Yes, yes, it does. What about investment banking? That's something that Vontobel is really strong in its core markets here in Europe and Switzerland. Would you think about offering those sorts of services in order to capture some of the synergies between wealth management and more of the securities or investment banking side of the business?
We do, particularly on the financial product side. You know, Asian clients are very familiar with financial products, you know, and we are good at that. And of course, our investment bank has set up both in Singapore and Hong Kong. And we utilize this capability very much to serve our clients.
But that's just in terms of offering financial products,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Would you think about really going in and hiring investment bankers to work on, for example, advisory or some of the capital markets business?
Yeah. We don't traditionally limit ourselves with just hiring wealth managers, so to speak. You know, financial advisors came from a different background, you know. I have investment banking background, for example, you know. So we just look for quality, capable financial advisors where their background can be investment banking, can be commercial banking, you know, can be from other parts of banking, you know, and to serve our clients properly, yes.
Now, you mentioned hiring, which of course is also something I will have to ask you about. How many relationship managers have you hired so far this year? How does that compare with your target for the full year?
We hire one this year, but we don't go after the numbers, really. We go for the quality. In general, Asia has a perfect imbalance of supply and demand of talents, really, because it's a high growth market. You know, people are all fighting for a limited pool of talents, you know, and so we are one of them, you know, but we are, you know, very choosy, if you will, you know, and we have to find a fit, you know, culturally speaking, capability-wise, you know, and we hire, of course, aggressively, you know, when we have identified such talent,
And what is your calling card as Vontobel? You know, is it your culture? You're obviously a family, have a strong family heritage background in the bank. Is it product? What is that calling card for you when you're recruiting?
All of the above, really. I mean, the history of the bank, you know, the safety of the bank, the high capital ratio, you know, the family background, the listing in Zurich, the transparency, you know, the product capability, you know, all of the above. You know, and I think in Asia, we are all recognizing the gradual move away from the typical transactional model, right. You know, and we are on the forefront of leading this change. And so we are identifying the talent that believe in this philosophy, you know, serving the clients the old-fashioned way and really earn and add value to the client. And earn a fee accordingly, of course. So
being more of an advisor as opposed to being a transaction or a trading bank, which has been, of course, the history in Asia.
Very much so.
Now, I do have to ask you one last question. We've seen some intense M&A in your industry in Asia. Is that something that Vontobel would be prepared to put money towards as well in that region?
Yes, of course. You know, the appetite is there, but the thing is really finding a fit, you know, and the right fit comes up, we wouldn't be shy.
Very good. Thank you very much, Alex Fung.
Thank you, Catherine.